orthopedic riders and friends. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Katie Maroff. I am one of the new instructors. I haven't gotten to meet many of you yet because I was supposed to start right before all of the coronavirus stuff began. Since we're not able to interact with you guys at the barn, we thought we would try to connect virtually and hopefully teach you some things and give you your horse fix. I'll be introducing you guys to my horses throughout these lessons so you can learn a little bit about them and about the topics that we're covering. This is Linus. He is a 12-year-old American thoroughbred. A fun fact about him is he is actually Secretariat's great-grandson. A lot of horses are related to Secretariat if you haven't seen that movie. But he is an off-the-track thoroughbred, and we will be using him today to help teach you guys a little bit about the horse's spine and about some stretches that you can do to help their spine stay as healthy and keep them as comfortable as possible. Linus was supposed to be my next show horse. He was going to participate with me in a sport called eventing. But I had him for about 3 months and he had some behavioral challenges, which later led to the vet finding out that he has a condition called kissing spine, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But I was originally told after his diagnosis that he would probably never be rideable again. Yet with the stretches and some other therapies that we may go over later that I'm going to show you guys, he has gone from possibly unrideable to approved to canter under saddle. So he's come a very long way, but we have to keep up with his stretches to keep him as healthy and comfortable as possible. I've had people that I've talked to about him ask what caused his injury, and the answer is we don't know for sure. I have tried to track down his history the best I can, and he had a fall on wet concrete as a 2-year-old. He slipped and fell to his knees, and there's a chance that that could have put some torque right here where his injury is, but we'll never really know. It's a fairly common injury among thoroughbreds especially, but his is particularly severe to the point where I would never put him in the position of asking him to jump again because of the amount of pressure that it can put on his spine. But a lot of other horses with this condition are able to go on and have successful athletic careers. My other thoroughbred, Bo, who you guys will probably meet later, does actually have a very, very mild form of this condition as well. But Lies is just much more developed because for a very long time in his life, nobody knew that he had it. Kissing spine means that some of those vertebrae, which are supposed to have some space between them, are touching or kissing. Linus's are in T13 through T17, which as you can see is right where the saddle would go. So as people would ride him, it created pain. And then he also has some arthritis and regeneration, also known as fusing, in the lumbar 1 through lumbar 3. So this whole area of his back is not as loose and happy-go-lucky as it would be on another horse. So part of what we do for his treatment is we stretch. And he's going to show you some of his stretches today. You guys will see me using this clicker. It's actually the same one you might use to train if you have a dog. Horses are very intelligent and can be taught to do many things with many of the same training systems that you might use for other animals. And part of the reason he's being so silly is in his mind it's almost cookie time. So I always start off with him stretching out either side of his neck. And to do that, we bring the cookie all the way back here and ask him to touch. Touch. Touch his hip and hold. And the click lets him know that he did a good job and he did what we were asking him to do. If you see how he's holding his head down like this, that's a sign of relaxation, which is exactly what we want. The lower down he stretches, the more he's stretching out up here. And he knows we do this 3 times, so he's already ready. When we first started doing this, Lai could barely get past here. So he's really improved with his flexibility over the last couple of years. And we do that on both sides. Lai, touch. Yeah, go breathe. And you'll actually see that even as he's eating his cookies, he will be holding the stretches. And once he starts doing this, it really does feel good to them, kind of like if you've ever tried yoga and you start to feel those endorphins going through your body. It's the same for horses. And we stretch down on both sides of his legs. And he knows what's next before I even ask for it. Inside. So all of that stretching with his head down way low really helps him to lift all along here, which, as we talked about earlier, is where his injury is. So those are very helpful for him. But we also want to help him stretch out his neck. So for that, I try to get him to bring his nose to his chest. Come on. Good boy. You dropped your cookie. Try that one more time. We try to get him to bring his nose all the way to his chest, as straight on as possible. Sometimes he tries to go more to one side than the other. And when he does that, then I just switch sides so that it's balanced. Good boy. One thing that's pretty simple, but actually is somewhat more challenging to teach the horses than some of the other stretches that we've done, is the one that goes straight out. Because they often want to walk forward to follow the treat. So it helps to also have trained your horse that as soon as you place your hand on their chest, that means stop. So as you can see, I'm cueing him not to move forward, and so his only option is to reach forward to stretch for the treat. Good boy. Next stretch, I actually have to go behind the horse, so we're going to put him back in the cross ties. The intent of this stretch is really to target and lift all these muscles back here. So I am going to walk behind the horse, but I'm standing off to the side just slightly so that I can get out of the way on the off chance that he were to decide to kick. I place place my thumbs on either side of the base of his tail, also known as his dock. And where my longest fingers are, I start to put pressure and massage, just a little bit. And it makes him lift his back up, which really stretches that out. Are you getting his back? Mm-hmm. And then you'll see as soon as I stop pressing, he'll relax and come back down to his normal stance. A lot of times the horses really enjoy this. At first, when you start putting the pressure on, it's confusing and they're not quite sure what you want, but once they learn that it feels really good to stretch out their back, they'll sometimes start doing it before you even ask. An alternative to that is to take a hoof pick with a brush on the end, or just a regular stiff brush, and right on their belly, just kind of tickle. He doesn't enjoy it very much, as you can see, which is why we do the other stretch. And it really doesn't work that well for him. He's just not that ticklish. He sees it more as an annoyance. So either one of those is a great way to target the thoracic through the lumbar vertebrae that we talked about. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed learning a little bit about Linus, the horse's spine, and how you can help them stretch that out. That helps with not only conditions like Linus has, but it can help any horse stretch out their back and feel more comfortable and work better, because as we're riding them, they're really using those muscles and the ligaments interact with them. So it really helps them to just loosen up and relax and feel their best. If you have any questions, let me know and I would be happy to answer them.